It's a beautiful morning, guys. Um, Today we are live at Man FM Radio, and we are discussing attitude that support business. And I'm going to be joined by Kimberly Lwendo from Man FM Radio, and we are discussing just that.
Hello?
Hello, Kimberly. I'm ready.
Okay. May I call you back or you don't mind being the one to call me?
It's not a problem. I'm okay with calling you.
Okay, all right. Okay, so being on soon. Your business radio station and business and counting is program on power. Every Tuesday we have the topic is attitude that positions and supports business. Good morning, Mr. Dusambo, and how are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you, Kimberly. How are you?
I'm doing quite well, sir. Thank you so much for being available for this interview, and I cannot wait to hear more about this topic, which is once again attitude that positions and supports businesses. So we get into the first question, which is quite simple, but a lot of people might not really understand it. What really is attitude?
Yes, I think, Kimberly, today's topic is of utmost importance because it's a personal issue. And I love the question, what is attitude? Because attitude is not something that is taught in schools. Attitude is not something that most people even realize is of utmost value in business. Now, for one, I have a different view of attitude. I think and strongly believe that attitude is a choice. Attitude is a choice. But why do I say that attitude is a choice? Well, at least for one good reason. Attitude, Kimberly, is made up of different components of the mind. Number one, I say attitude is a choice because in the mind, that is where all the choices are made. So attitude comprises of at least three things. Number one, it comprises of our thoughts. Number two, it comprises of our feelings. And number three, it comprises of our actions. So when I say, Kimberly, that attitude is a choice, I'm talking about three things. I'm talking about feelings because sometimes we choose how we want to feel about certain topics, certain issues, and certain discussions. Then number two, when I talk about thoughts, it's because we have the ability to control the thoughts that we give much attention, much energy. And when we talk about actions, it's because as human beings we have the choice on how we should act and react to certain issues, whether we like them or we do not like them. We always have a choice. So, attitude, really, Kimberly, is indeed a serious choice that we keep making more often than not. However, if we are going to talk about attitude in the business perspective, why is it that this attitude is so important for anybody who wants to make it in business? That is really going to be our point of discussion, and I want to keep it that way. To my definition of attitude is a choice, and we're going to explain a bit more about thoughts, feelings, and actions, and how these things influence our attitude.
Absolutely. We cannot wait to get to that, as the topic is attitude that positions and supports business. And seeing the answer basically to what attitude is and the three components that encompass it, we'll move on to the very next question, which is what is the difference between general attitude and entrepreneurial attitude?
Yes, Kimberly. So there's a difference indeed between general attitude and entrepreneurial attitude. Remember, we just defined what attitude is. We said it's made up of thoughts, feelings, and actions. General attitude is the component of our thinking ability. It contains how we generally feel, Kimberly, about things, about people, and about life in general. That is the general attitude. The entrepreneurial attitude, on the other hand, is the type of attitude that we choose to nurture in order for us to win in business. We may not be so much happy with it, but we decide to go with it because it makes us win as business owners, as businessmen and women. So the difference that exists really here between the general attitude and the entrepreneurial attitude, we are going to break down into these three components. Let me talk about first thoughts as a general attitude. You know, knowledge changes attitude. So when you talk about thoughts, as human beings, we have thoughts that come in our subconscious mind without us even realizing them. They just pop up generally because they pop up. That is general attitude. So those thoughts, they have the potential to determine how we are going to feel. So let me give you an example, Kimberly. If you just happen to have a random thought about something you don't like or how you were mistreated or things like that, those thoughts, if you don't combat them, they can ruin your whole day. So thoughts, they have a potential to determine your feelings, how you're going to feel either about something or about a person. The thoughts. Now, those thoughts, when they are left unchecked, they are going to transform into feelings. And when those feelings are entertained, they have a potential to now be able to transform into actions. So you begin to see some people are more nice to a certain group of people than others. It's because of the choice that they have made in relation to the thoughts that they have allowed to take a dominant part in their minds. That is basically a general attitude. That's why you see sometimes we hear that somebody's a bad guy, they've never offended you, and boom, you don't like them. It's a choice. You give them this bad attitude. It's a choice. You don't blame people who misled you. No, because you have a choice to decide whether to give them a chance to get to know them or not. That is basically the general attitude, which is generated by thoughts, translated into feelings, and eventually blossoms into actions, and people are going to see. Even if you don't talk, Kimberly, the thoughts have a way of communicating your attitude through actions. Even if you're just quiet, people will get your attitude. So that is the general attitude. The entrepreneurial attitude is the attitude that helps you identify opportunities, that helps you identify potential business investors, that helps you come up with a strategy that is going to help you win, even though that strategy you may not be happy with it. So I'll be happy, Kimberly, to delve into details of this wonderful topic, attitude, which helps us to succeed in business or either fail in business.
Okay, so now that we understand the general attitude and the entrepreneurial attitude, which basically goes in line with each other, before we get into details of attitude that supports business, kindly explain the relationship that exists between attitude and business success.
Well, there's a serious relationship, Kimberly, between an attitude and your business success. You see, in my view, I strongly believe that the major reason why most people are successful is because of having a good attitude. A good attitude positions you and puts you in places a very intelligent person would never be, no matter how hard they try. A good attitude opens doors that no money can buy. A good attitude helps other people to tell other people about you and your business. So if you are to be successful in your business, Kimberly, it is extremely important that you develop and nurture, build this beautiful business attitude, because attitude defines your success. It's a choice that you make whether to be successful or to remain poor. It's because of attitude. Now, the reason why we're saying there's a serious relationship between attitude and success in business is because that sometimes there are opportunities that come in disguise. And if you have a very bad attitude, you would never see them. You remain praying that you have an opportunity because of your poor attitude. It blinds you to see good in bad situations. So really, there's a serious relationship between attitude and success.
Business success.
Indeed.
So let's now kindly discuss the following important components of entrepreneurial attitude now that we understand the relationship that exists between the two, and also how they play an important role in business success. And we will begin with emotional intelligence, as we have a variety of components that actually help with attitude, but the first one being emotional intelligence.
Okay, so emotional intelligence is a component, Kimberly, of business attitude. Now, when we talk about emotional intelligence, we're not talking about you getting a lot of good marks in school, you, being the emotionally intelligent person, being able to argue better than others. Nobody cares about that. You can be as smart as you like. If your attitude is bad, man, you fail in business, in relationships, and just in life in general. So emotional intelligence means, as somebody who wants to make it in business, don't allow your feelings to be ahead of your opportunities. Emotional intelligence, Kimberly, in business means, please, dear friend, leave room for negotiations. Imagine you are selling a product at a price higher than what the potential buyer wants to pay. Don't walk out because you feel your product is more valuable, it's nice, then you say, no, it's fine, I'll find somebody else. That is a poor emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence means that, please, be able to compromise sometimes. Don't always expect people to do things the way you want them. Don't always expect businesses, transactions to turn out in a way you had imagined, because you are dealing with real people, not just your personal imaginations. So emotional intelligence plays. Yes.
How does one do that? How does one do that?
How does one?
How does one be able to engage emotional intelligence in attitude?
Yes. So one is able to engage emotional intelligence in attitude by creating room for negotiations. You have this deal, but you say, okay, fine, I'm willing to do something someone else's way, even when my way is the best way. Emotional intelligence. I have seen people who have lost out on opportunities because of being short-tempered. Poor emotional intelligence. People have walked away from great business deals that could have changed their lives forever because of poor emotional intelligence. They got offended with how somebody came out. They didn't like how somebody priced their product, and they walked away. Now, walking away is a sign of poor emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, which is better, means even when you're not happy with a client, sometimes hang on, because there are people from the first instance, Kimberly, that will show you a very poor attitude. And if you are patient even a bit, you will be disappointed to learn that actually they are the best people you ever met in your life. On that, maybe the first day you met, you started on a very wrong foot. But if you are patient a little bit, you hold your feelings even when you should burst because you are disrespected in your own office. You begin to yield the results. You sign contracts. You create stronger business relationships. You get connected to this wonderful connection that they have. Why? Because you were emotionally patient and intelligent. Yes.
Absolutely. So now we move on into asking for help, and this also falls in with emotional intelligence, learning when to ask for help and also learning when to gauge in negotiations. So how does one ask for help in regards to general attitude as well as entrepreneurial business, which is at the end of the day success for the business?
Yes, indeed. So Kimberly, what we are saying here, we talk about asking for help as a component of attitude. Now, you see, most people, they are imbalanced to ask for help. And again, most people have a poor attitude towards asking for help. They feel, well, I'm vulnerable. They will think I'm not powerful. They will think I'm broke. Or sometimes just because of pride, you fail to ask for help. You lose out an opportunity. Now, here's the thing about asking for help as a component of attitude. As somebody who wants to make it in business, you must understand that asking for help is not a sign of weakness. Asking for help is a sign of intelligence. It simply means that you are intelligent enough to recognize the need to remain strong. Hence, you go ahead and ask for help. It does not matter what the other person thinks when you ask for help. It matters where you're going to be after that help is received. Now, here is the point. When we say asking for help, usually we mistake asking for help just to go ahead, meet people, ask them for their money, and blah, 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 and blah. It's not always that help comes in the form of money. No. Sometimes asking for help may mean little subtle things such as asking for a business contact. Sometimes it may mean just asking somebody to work with you. Even though you are the best at what you do, you just ask for somebody to come and work with you. Asking for help sometimes means being humble enough to ask for a contact from somebody that can push you to the next level. Asking for help sometimes means be humble enough to walk into somebody's office and ask for that contract that you need. Say, please help me. I need a contract. I need this connection. Please help me. I need you to talk to this somebody for me. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It is just something that you do because you want to remain strong. Even the rich people, even the governments, they ask for help. It's not a sign of weakness. It just means you want to remain strong. You want to strengthen the economy as a country and also as an individual. So asking for help should not be viewed in a negative way if you're a business person. Because sometimes at a personal level, you may have money in the bank, but you still ask for help because the money that you have is budgeted for something that you can't afford to miss. It doesn't mean you are stingy, you don't want to use your resources. No, you need help to get the next level. So don't be proud, be humble, ask for help. Sometimes asking for help also shows the other person that you value them. A normal person who really is genuine, when they see you go to them, knock on their office door and say, please, I need your help. Could you kindly talk to this person on my behalf? It sometimes gives the impression to that person that you hold them in high regard. Even if they didn't want to help you, they will be able to help you. Why? Because they feel important, they feel respected, and they feel valued that you've walked to them. Even when a person of your caliber cannot do that, they are going to be able to help you. It shows something about your character. You are not big-headed. You are not self-reliant, but you also recognize the need to work with other people.
Absolutely, which is part of emotional intelligence. Now, in regards to asking for help, how does one overcome the fear of maybe asking for help? Where does one get the confidence to do that?
Yes, so yes, indeed, most people fail to ask for help. Again, we have to recognize the need, Kimberly, here, that it is not always that people have the courage to ask for help. Most people fail to ask for help because they lack the courage to do it. And sometimes asking for help means that you're going to ask for help from somebody you don't even like, sometimes. So what will motivate you to ask for help is to recognize the need that at the moment you can't do it on your own. And if you don't do it, you're going to sink. So which one is better? To be proud and sink, or to humble yourself and rise above. Which one is better, Kimberly? I think it's better to rise above. Yeah. So sometimes, yes, yes. So we have to humble ourselves sometimes. We take ourselves down and say, hey guys, I think I need help. I know I don't have everything. I don't know everything. I need somebody to be able to explain to me so that I too can be able to benefit. That is what it's supposed to be in business. It's a good attitude that we should develop.
92.7, your business radio station, business and accounting, and today's topic is attitude that positions and supports business. So basically, we're talking about the important components, which include emotional intelligence, asking for help, and the next one sort of falls in line with asking for help, and this one is the willingness to learn. How would you explain this particular component in regards to attitude, the willingness to learn?
Yes, this other component of willingness to learn is also another aspect of good attitude. A good business attitude should be able to allow you to learn from other people. You must recognize the need to learn new things. Remember, there's a very beautiful scripture in the Bible which says, a man that increases in knowledge is a powerful man. Why? Because the more you learn, the more you begin to discover new ways of doing things. Now, when we say willingness to learn, Kimberly here, what we're trying to say is that sometimes you may be doing things the way you love them to be done. And in your infinite wisdom, you strongly believe that the way you do it is the best way. But the danger with that you never get to know other easier ways of doing it if you don't want to learn from others. So being able to learn requires a certain measure of humility. Walk to that junior guy and ask them to teach you how they do something. Because sometimes people will support what you do, not because it's the best, but because they respect the position that you hold. So when you suggest a way of how something should be done, everybody agrees with you. Not that it's the best thing, no. They just respect your position. So willingness to learn gives you an advantage because you're going to learn someone else's way of doing things and then compare it with how you've been able to do it over the years. And then see situations where someone else's way can be used and situations in which your way can be used. So learning gives you an advantage. Because in business, if you don't learn, you keep making losses. So you have to be willing to learn new things. Indeed.
Okay, so moving from willingness to learn. Now, this one, as you mentioned, there is a Bible verse that accompanies it. So, knowledge is power, as I like to say. So, how does one open their mind to being willing and open to learn every day in regards to business success?
Yes, so opening up your mind is another thing. When we say you cannot learn if you are proud, again, that's the issue. Because in your mind, you'll be thinking that your way is better than someone else's way. Now, that's a disease that should be cut immediately. So you have to accept the fact that you don't know everything. You have to recognize the need that there should be some consultations from other people. You also have got to accept the fact that you're not the smartest on earth. There are lots of people who are smarter than you. And you must also recognize that it is not always that your way will yield better results. Sometimes someone else's way will be the way that gives you the results that you actually needed. So it's important that as we begin to learn from others, also when you ask for help from somebody, it's like when you go and ask for advice, don't decide how somebody should advise you. And if they give you that advice, don't be offended because you asked for it. So if somebody tries to teach you, don't say, no, I don't want, no, just listen, let them finish. And then on your own, you can make the decision. So it requires a certain measure of humility to be able to learn from others. It means, and when you go and ask for help from others that they teach you something, it has a way it shows a character about you. It shows you that you're not proud. You are somebody who is willing to learn. Indeed.
Absolutely. All right, now Now, moving on to being open-minded and being willing to showing willingness to learn, we take a look at the component that is investment. How does this component attribute itself to business success and general attitude, including entrepreneurial attitude as well?
Yes, now investment is another aspect of attitude. You see, you will always get what you've invested. You always get what you've put efforts in. Now, when we talk about investments, we talk about the aspect of investment that requires that you develop a disciplined attitude towards investments. You can't. There are certain individuals who've been able to fail in business because they want to invest in more than they can manage to handle. Today they start this business. They hear somebody says there's another business. They go and invest in it. There's this. So you can't grow like that. Sometimes be patient enough, even regards investments. Don't invest in a business or because somebody says it's a good business. First of all, before you make the investment, a good attitude towards investment requires that you ask questions. Okay, you tell me that this investment is a good one. All right, who is going to buy from me if I invest? It's important to have this attitude of asking questions. How much will be the likely cost? What is the risk in this business? Now, people would tell you the risk, but don't end there. Be able to analyze what would be the impact of this risk if it happened to me and my business. How hard will this risk, this impact hit me and my business? It's extremely important for us to be able to ask those questions, because sometimes a business may have a very high risk, but at the same time, this investment may have a very huge reward. So before you make the investment, don't just focus on the reward. No, but also don't just focus on the risk. No, be able to do a SWOT analysis. Analyze the two. See, okay, if do use a TARA framework. In accountants, we say use the TARA framework. You're going to say, okay, let's see the rewards. What are the benefits? Okay, these are the benefits. What about the risks? These are the risks. If things worked out, what would be the reward? The reward is big. Okay, fantastic. I think I like that one. What about if things didn't work out? How will this investment impact my finances? Be realistic. See the impact. Okay, this is the impact. And then come up with a plan B. How will I be able to survive this impact? What can I do to mitigate the effects of this impact? Do all those things. Take your time. Have a good attitude towards investments. Don't just rush into investing because somebody says they made it. No. But also, before you invest, the most important thing to know as somebody wants to start a business, who is going to buy from you? Don't assume people have to eat, so you have to start a restaurant. No. There are people who failed big time in restaurant businesses. Why? Why have they failed so badly? It is because they did not take time to find out who was going to buy from them. Don't just assume that you, yes. Some people say, no, if you go with ladies' clothing, it will never go wrong. But do you have potential clients who are going to buy the type of ladies' clothing you want? What type of clothing are they going to buy? Finding out who is going to buy from you gives you halfway the job done. It gives you an advantage.
Absolutely.
Yes, because when you go to order things, you know exactly the demand and you have potential clients who are willing to pay. Then you can go into the business. Don't just go into the business because people eat food. So if you start a restaurant, people are going to come. No. What if the location where you are, nobody eats food from the restaurant? Look for a strategic location where you know people are going to eat from their places in distant places. Bring restaurants nearby. Then they are going to buy from you. Don't just invest. Indeed.
Absolutely. So investment basically also has the components of willingness to learn, when to take a risk, when not to take a risk, when to invest, and also this falls in line with asking for help and emotional intelligence. Am I right?
Indeed, Kimberly.
All right, so moving on to the next component, which is showing up. How does that play a role in the component in regards to attitude and entrepreneurial attitude towards business success?
I didn't get that.
Showing up, the component. How does the component of showing up relate to business success as well as attitude general and entrepreneur, showing up.
All right. So now we come to another aspect of attitude, indeed showing up. Now, why is showing up a very powerful tool for somebody who wants to make it in business? Why do you have to just show up? Now, more often than not, showing up gets the job done. You see, I'll give you an example of a person who wants to marry. If you're in a relationship with this person and then you only show up when you have money, please don't be cheated. You have to accept the fact that you're not in any relationship. Because your relationship only exists, you only show up when you have something. Now, you're going to agree with me that if you show up to this somebody in a relationship, even when you have nothing, it gives them the impression that you care. And sometimes they may not even know that you don't have. The fact that you've showed up will mean a lot. Even if you walked on foot going there, they won't even know you walked on foot because you showed up. Maybe they'll just assume you used some transport or whatever it is. So showing up in business creates trust. Showing up creates the impression to the other person that you are serious about what you do. It makes the other person to even trust you even more because you showed up. So showing up means you are telling somebody that, listen to me, I am reliable without saying a word because you showed up. Even though things did not work, the fact that you showed up means a lot to a potential client. So most of the times, just show up. Even though you don't have the investments, you don't have the money, you don't have the muscle, all odds are against you, just show up. You never know who is going to be there when you show up. So showing up is a very good attitude. If you are the person that doesn't show up, you will lose out on great opportunities. Sometimes people will not just give you business because they feel you're not reliable. Even when maybe you are reliable. But the fact that you don't show up most of the times, they won't trust you. They will rather call somebody else who is less experienced than you are because the other person shows up. Showing up also, as a way, it forces people to look at you as an expert. It is like the way we use Facebook. Most of the people on Facebook, they show up with clothing, they look nice, they post pictures where they went to eat food and blah, 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 blah. But what does posting a picture of food on Facebook add to your business? Nothing. It doesn't. But here's the issue. If you keep showing up with this business idea on Facebook, even though you're not an expert, somehow subconsciously people are going to be forced to believe that you're an expert, you're experienced. And if they know somebody who wants that particular service, they're going to recommend you because they keep seeing you. Showing up is like the way you advertise yourself as a business person. This is why we keep seeing Boom posters every day on TV. I love Boom adverts myself. They have a special place in my heart. They remind me so much of my childhood. I just love Boom. I buy Boom at my home. Everybody loves Boom here. Why? Boom has convinced us that they are the best. Why? They keep showing up. When we are young up to now, we see these beautiful songs about mothers, about childhood, and blah, 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 blah. They're just awesome at the way they come with the adverts. And because of that, many of us buy Boom because we feel Boom is the best. But is it really true that Boom is the one washing part of the chain that can clean clothes? No, there are others. But why do we love Boom? Because they keep showing up. And because they keep showing up, we've developed subconsciously the trust. And even when we didn't want to buy from them, we are forced to buy from them because we keep seeing them. And then we say, let's give them a try. So showing up creates an opportunities that you would never even possibly have imagined. So in business, as a person that wants to make it, please just show up.
All right. Now, so in line with showing up comes doing the work. Now, what does that component have to do with business success? Doing the work.
Okay. Yes. So Kimber, that's a good one. Doing the work. Now, doing the work is another aspect. You know, impressions matter. if you know, I have people that call me. I usually do facilitate at workshops in different hotels. Sometimes hotel owners call me. They tell me that, hey Shadwick, we want a facilitator. Are you available next week? And what are the fees? And blah 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 blah. They ask for that. Now here's the issue. Sometimes I'm not the one that goes to facilitate, depending on who is calling. But again, sometimes I'm the one that goes. And some clients will be specific. They say, no, we want you to be the one to come and facilitate. Why are they insisting I don't send someone but me to go myself? Sometimes when you, the owner of the business, do the work, it creates the impression that it's going to be a perfect job. Even though the job is not as perfect as someone else could have done. Imagine if you're advertising for products, and then you put somebody who then look presentable as a frontliner. Serious clients won't even buy from you, because the person that is in front of your business is not convincing that they can do the job. So sometimes be the one to do the job, so that you lead as an example. It creates the impression that most of the things are done in a perfect way, even when you're not always there. The fact that you show up, you try to do something yourself for a client feels good. It says, actually, the owner of the business, the one who did it, the director, the manager, the CEO, the who and who did it. So sometimes create time to just be able to do the work yourself. We're not saying that you have to do everything, no, because you just can't afford, Kimberly, to do everything on your own. But sometimes have the attitude to do things yourself. Now, what is the beauty of being able to do things yourself sometimes? The beauty is this. As a business owner, you are going to have firsthand the experience of getting to know the challenges that happen in practice, such that even when you're not there, the new employee calls you and tells you something is wrong, you can advise and say, okay, do this, because you've experienced it. You know it exactly. It gives you knowledge that is going to be of utmost importance in your business and also to your clients. Be able to do the work on your own if you need to.
Absolutely. Now, moving right along from doing the work, what comes with courage and comfort zone? What component does that play in regards to business success, as well as general attitude and entrepreneurial attitude, courage and comfort zone?
All right. So the other attitude of somebody that wants to make in business is indeed courage and comfort zone. Now, what is the relationship with courage and comfort zone? I'm going to tell you a story of myself, Kimberly. At some point, I was so scared to come out on Facebook and do my services because I didn't have the courage to do it. I would do a good job in private offline. I would lecture people. I would do ABCD. And I was scared to show up on Facebook because I didn't have the courage. Say, my schoolmates are going to say, no, he's on Facebook, he's doing this. My neighbors, my friends, they will think I'm suffering and blah, blah, blah. I was so scared. But the day I posted a video on Facebook, Kimberly, that video changed my life. It opened doors that I never would have had if I didn't do it. So sometimes courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is not the impression that you are strong. No. Courage simply means you are willing to do something despite being fearful. It does not mean you're not scared. You are afraid. You can't resign from your work. That when you resign from work, doesn't mean you're not afraid. You are scared. Where am I going to get money to pay rent? If I go to do this business, I have to resign. There are some times you're at a crossroads. It's either you resign for you to do your business, or you stay in your employment and then keep on complaining about the bad conditions of service. So what are you going to do? I was in that position too. Should I resign, or should I keep on working for this company where I'm getting this salary I'm not happy with, obviously? It took courage. It didn't mean when I resigned that I wasn't scared. I eventually resigned. I wasn't fired. I just resigned on my own and went to do my business, and I'm happy I did. I was scared because I didn't have where to start. I said, "What?"
You out of the comfort zone.
Yes, where am I going to get money to pay rent? Because my salary, at least I have a guarantee that my rent is settled, my food, my transport. But if I resign, how long is my business going to sustain me? What if I don't make it? I was so scared, Kimberly. But despite all the fear, the anxiety, courage means that sometimes do something despite being fearful because you expect that the benefits are going to be just as great. And it worked for me. So I believe courage is not a sign of pride. Some people mistake courage for pride. They say it's proud. No. Be able to see the difference between pride and courage. Pride is different from courage. Courage is humility.
Absolutely.
Courage means you're humble enough to try something new. It doesn't make you a hero, no. It simply means you're able to see the future and you're open minded, you want to try it out. Sometimes they don't work out, it's okay. It's not always things that are going to work. Now, comfort zone means you are just at a place where you are, a camel loves being a camel because it's never been anything else. Now, we don't want to be like camels. We want to try something new. Be willing to leave your comfort zone because sometimes where you are, that 10,000 kwacha you are getting, you can make it in just a week. That money you are complaining about, that salary you are getting, if you try to step out of your comfort zone and just try and do something, because you are the one that sees your future. So to be able to leave your comfort zone requires that you ask yourself some self-searching questions. Is this really the life that I want? Am I so happy where I am? Is it really true, Kimber, that I can just be locked up in an office with a tie and a hair cone when my friends are outside making big deals, making thousands and thousands, buying cars, building houses for their parents? Is it really true that it's okay for me just to watch my friends live such a happy life? Am I happy where I am? Now, remember, living your comfort zone doesn't mean you're not content. There's a difference. It simply means you are trying to unlock your innermost unused potential that is going to help you live a better life than you are right now. It takes courage to leave your comfort zone.
Absolutely. Now we quickly move on to the last two questions in about 4 minutes. What is intellectual curiosity and how is it important in creating great business relationships? And also, what really is the difference between a poor business attitude and a bad business attitude?
All right. So I like that question, Kimberly. Intellectual property and how it helps in creating intellectual intelligence, intellectual curiosity, and how it helps create good business relationships. Now, here's what intellectual curiosity is. Intellectual curiosity is related to learning. It means having the curiosity to learn yourself, having the curiosity to be able to know people yourself the way you should know them. If somebody tells you so and so is a bad guy, it's okay. Be grateful somebody warned you. But don't let that warning prevent you from getting to know firsthand this person yourself. It is not all that you have to experience something for you to know it exists. You don't need to go and get yourself infected with HIV for you to know it's there. No, it's not always you have to experience something. But sometimes in business, intellectual curiosity means give people a chance to show you who they are themselves. Give yourself a chance to learn for yourself so that you can get to know things. Have the willingness to learn from other people, because sometimes if you quickly misjudge other people, you may end up losing out great business opportunities because of being negative. Having this preconceived notion about somebody doesn't help you that much. Even if you know that somebody is a crook, don't tell them that they're a crook. Because telling a crook that is a crook doesn't help that much. Do you know why, Kimberly?
No, I do not. Why does that happen? Why is that the situation?
It's because a crook already knows that he's a crook. So when you tell them that you're a crook, you're just telling them to be more smarter next time. You're not helping yourself. It doesn't help to always confront people. Sometimes just take your time, learn, come up with strategies of how you're going to make the best out of a bad situation. That is intellectual curiosity, willingness to learn and come up with new ways of doing things. And then you asked about the difference between poor attitude and a bad attitude.
Poor business attitude and bad business attitude.
Yes, so there's a difference between a poor business attitude and a bad business attitude. Now, here's the difference that exists. A poor business attitude is something that can be controlled. Somebody may have a poor business attitude. You can talk to them, no, my friend, it's not always supposed to be done. Please, next time, do this and that. They are going to learn. They are willing to learn and do that next time. Because or some people don't have bad attitudes. They just have poor attitudes. A poor attitude can be controlled. A poor attitude can be improved. It can be corrected. A poor attitude does not necessarily mean that somebody is bad. No, it simply means they lack the knowledge to do something better, or they lack the knowledge they need to bring out the best attitude out of themselves. A bad attitude, on the other hand, a bad business attitude means doing something deliberately because of selfish interests. So a bad attitude is deliberate. A poor attitude sometimes is ignorant, sometimes because of slowness or sluggishness. So there's a difference. Don't confuse a poor business attitude for a bad attitude. Some people say, you have a very bad attitude. No. See, is this attitude deliberate? Is it really deliberate? Did this person really know what they were supposed to do and they chose not to do it? That's a bad attitude. You know what you should do, but you choose to do the opposite. That's a bad attitude. A poor attitude means sometimes just make an honest mistake because you didn't ask for help. Yes, you didn't ask for help.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Lusambo, talking about attitude that positions and supports businesses. It's been quite insightful to understand the components and also what basically comes with attitude, and just basically what we talked about. It's been quite insightful and definitely applicable to the mindset.
Thank you so much, Kimba. It's always nice to be here with you. I really appreciate having me.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Lusambo, and have a great afternoon and great day as well.
Have a great day too, Kimberly. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Thank you.
All right, guys. So we were discussing attitude that support businesses. And I want to appreciate you guys. It's been wonderful to be here. Thank you so very much. We have comments coming through from Tisha Felix. Tisha Felix teacher, that's a good friend of mine from school. Says, enjoying your lecturing. Thank you so much, my brother. That Chichi Praskevas, always on point. Thank you so much, Chichi. We have Mariah Chanda, who says, oftenly I always chose to have a positive attitude to almost everything. I personally believe that an attitude can be hard to change once developed. Attitude is a mental state involving beliefs, values, and feelings. And I think that is awesome. If you have a stronger attitude, Mariah Chanda, indeed, it can help you to achieve great things, because attitude opens doors that other faculties of our abilities cannot be able to open. Next, we have another comment there, which says from Lucky Mwewa, says, interesting topic, Mr. Sambo, following Kini. Thank you so much, Mr. Lucky. We really appreciate. My best friend there says, Dorothy Mapesa Lusambo says, interesting stuff. Watching from Long Acres. Thank you so much, my friend. I always appreciate your support. I love that courage is not a sign of pride. Yeah, thank you. That is indeed. We have Mr. Veron Mushota who says, good topic. We appreciate your watching us. Thank you so much. And Chichi Paraskevas who says, taking risks that make you leave your comfort zone is very true. Last year, I resigned from my previous job because in terms of career enrichment, it was a bit low. I took the courage to go back to school, start for the CA exams, and finally, I got another job. In the last 3 months, I can say it's helping me learn more about accounting, risk worth taking. That's a good thing, Mr. Chichpaskiva. I think I love that point. When we take risks, let's take calculated risks. He resigned from his job because he saw that he wasn't moving forward. And he went for this other job, which helped him tremendously to do what? To have a better education, and the past 3 months has been awesome. We are so much happy to hear that. Thank you so much for sharing, Mr. Chichi. Chichi Paskevas, thank you so much. And there's Susan Kachari being tagged. Thank you so very much, guys. Indeed, I really appreciate your support. It's always nice to be with you here. Do join us again for another episode in our next live session. Thank you so very much. Have a great day, and may God richly bless you. It is bye with me, Shadik Lusambo. See you next time. Bye bye.